Welcome back. My name is Josh Kenny, and in this one we'll be going over SwiftUI alerts. Let's go ahead and dive in. So I'll show you real quick what I have set up prior to the alert part, and I'll push this up to a GitHub repo so you can grab that and change that to fit your needs. So right now I have a Z stack, and inside that I have a radial gradient already set up with the colors I chose. And then underneath that I set up a V stack with a text that's just saying ask questions at the top, and then a spacer, which is what's pushing the questions to the top, and then the button that says press for answer to the bottom. And then I have the button that's already set up with a print statement when you press it, and then of course the text that says press for answers. Set up the padding, the font, and then the color. If I go ahead and run this real quick, you'll see all that happens when we press this button is it prints out alerts are awesome, which is exactly what I'm telling it to do here. All right, so to start this out, when you're messing with alerts, you need some kind of, I wouldn't say you need, but it helps to have a Boolean to turn the alert on and off. So we're gonna do that first. So up here underneath this content view, go ahead and set an @state var, and we're gonna set this to is alert. We're gonna set that to false at first. And then inside this button, whenever it's pressed, we're gonna go ahead and do is alert dot toggle. And I'm gonna go ahead and erase this alerts part, and I'm gonna print out is alert just to show you what's actually happening here. So when we run this again, we will see press for answer, you get true. Press for answer again, you get false. Press for answer again, and you get true, because it's toggling it back and forth. All right, great. The next thing we want to do is actually implement an alert. And what I was kind of thinking with this one is kind of like that old 8-ball that we had growing up. You would ask it a question and then shake the ball, and then it would pop up an answer. So that's kind of my idea with this one. Whenever we ask an answer out loud, then we click press for answer, and then it'll give us an answer for that. So to set that up, we're going to need an array, which I have one here, and I'm just going to copy it real quick with all the answers on it just to save a little bit of time, but just a simple array. And then from there, and you can see here, I call it answers, and it's just no, yes, not likely, just yes and no answers is all that is. We're going to go ahead now down here underneath this button, we're going to have a dot alert, and we're going to do the is presented. Now is presented, we're going to pass in that is alert. So if it's true, then it is presented, and then it's going to go ahead and show it. If it's false, then the alert will not pop up. So that's what that's doing there. And then the content is just where the code goes. So we're going to start this out by just typing in alert. And we're going to do a title. And the title will be, wow, this is cool. Now let's go ahead and run that. Oop, I got to do the text. You got to wrap that in a text so it knows. Now let's run that again. And you'll see whenever we press this, we get an alert with a generic or a default button, a dismiss button that says okay. And then it says what we told it to up here, which is the title. Wow, this is cool. So go ahead and press okay on that. And now let's go ahead and pass in our answers here. So since that's an array, we can do a lot of cool things with it. For instance, let's go ahead and remove this, and then let's pass in the actual answers here. But let's go ahead and do a dot and type in random and do this random element. Now, since we know that this is filled here, we have answers here, we can go ahead, and I tell developers, you know, a lot of people shy away from force unwrapping things. And that is a good concept, especially when you're first starting out. However, if you know 100% of the time that there is code there and it's not going to break anything to force unwrap it, and it's going to save you a couple steps, do it. There's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't shy away or be scared once you get comfortable with coding to use those. And in this case is a perfect example. I set these up here. These are default. I already wrote them in, and I know that me putting this force unwrap here, nothing's going to break. So now let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So whenever I hit press for answer, it says I wouldn't bet on it. So let's actually use this. I'm going to ask a question. Will I become a millionaire? I wouldn't bet on it. Okay. Will I get married? 100%. Oh, great. Will I be the best software developer ever to live? Yes, I highly doubt that. And one more question just for fun. Will this video be a little too long? Certainly. That's right. Okay. So the next thing I want to show you is with this alert, you can also pass in a message, and you can do the message by coming right here after this title here and putting a comma and then type in message and then just pass that in. So it's a text, and the message we're going to say right now, since there's an OK button, let's say press the OK button and ask another question. Okay, now let's go ahead and rerun this and see what it looks like. Okay, so our question this time is going to be, will this video get 100 likes? Never. Press the OK button and ask another question. So then you press the OK button and then you can go again. The last thing I want to show you is this OK button here. We can change that as well. And the way you do that is right here, you can add your comma and then add dismiss button, and then you can pass in it, but you're seeing it's needing an alert dot button. And the best way to do this is right here. You can set something, set a variable or a constant called let, and we're going to call it alert button. Makes sense. We're going to set this to alert dot button dot default with a label, and then we're going to name it. So the text and what's the button going to be called? Instead of OK, let's go ahead and say, I don't know, right off the top of my head, ask another. That'll work. Ask another, and then we're going to go ahead and change this right here from OK, because it's no longer going to say OK, it's going to be ask another. Let's actually say question. Let's ask another question. I think that is a little bit clearer. And now we need to go right here at this alert and return. So we're going to return this. And then right here where this dismiss button is, we can pass what we just created. So alert button, that should go away because now we're using it. And let's run it and see what it looks like. So we are going to ask a question. Wasn't this a fun video? No. Press the ask another question button and ask another question. And then you see ask another question, press it, it goes away, and then you can ask another one. And that's going to wrap it up for alerts within SwiftUI. If you guys have comments or questions, definitely leave them below. And as always, hit that bell if you'd like to see upcoming content, as well as hitting that subscribe and like button to support the channel so I can get it out to others to help possibly benefit them as well. Thank you.